One, two, 1, 2, 3. Hey guys, we have a special bonus episode because we wanted to just say happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween, my spooky queens.
Yes. So today, instead of talking about one movie, we are going to name 5 horror or
spooky movies to watch this season.
We are going to name 5 horror / scary / spooky, whatever you want to call it, that we love. And this isn't our list of like the best ones or the scariest. It's just 5 that we really like. And if you haven't seen them, we think you should.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So let's get right the fuck into it.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. So I'm going to start with my first one. And you better not laugh.
Wait, hold on. Did we say 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first.
I'm like 10. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
My first, Child's Play.
Love it.
Okay, but here, let me tell you why. That movie, when I watched it when I was a kid, it's so scary because Chucky is like really scary looking. And that movie is scary. It's set up to be scary. Whereas, you know, all the Chuckies afterward are like, he's like this goofy dude. Where that movie, it's like very suspenseful. The mom is like it's the mom from Seventh Heaven who I cannot fucking stand.
Yeah.
I can't stand her. No offense.
Oh.
Her face, she's always so stressed out and it like makes me uncomfortable.
Like even in Child's Play?
Yeah. All the time. She just gives me anxiety. But yeah, it's like a genuine little boy. And it's like, hi, I'm Chucky. Want to play? And like the little boy like wears a matching outfit with him. Mm-hmm. Dude, that shit is fucked. And so yeah, it was one of those movies that just like really made an impression on me because I was so fucking scared.
Nice.
What do you think about Child's Play?
I really liked that movie. And you know, like the guy that wrote that movie is gay, so
I especially like
gotta love my queer filmmakers like Don Mancini. So.
Okay, what else have they written?
Only Chucky.
Literally only Chucky?
Yeah, Chucky is like his life.
Oh, is he still a part of that?
Yeah, he's like the creator of Chucky.
Okay.
So
a lot I know. And that movie's like it's fucking scary. In Child's Play, it's like you get the origin story, which is like he's just like some burglar criminal or something, or I don't know if he's a murderer. He's like some dude.
He's a murderer.
Okay, he's a murderer and he's running from the cops and he like gets inside like a big surplus shopping center or whatever, and he grabs one of the Chucky dolls and he does this like sort of spell to like take his soul and put it into the doll. So Dambala, give me the power I beg of you. Yeah, exactly. And that's like something that will randomly like go off in my head. Like I'll be like folding laundry and I'm like, give me the power I beg of you. Like
I'm gonna start saying that shit to you. But Brad Dourif, he's the one that plays Chucky. Oh, okay. Legend.
Is he still playing Chucky?
Yes,
wow.
He is. And
I'm
his
really out
daughter is also on the show.
What?
Has a huge part of the Chucky series.
No. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Chucky series, but yeah. Yeah, and I've seen, you know, a few of the Chucky movies, but I haven't seen, I think I was telling you, I haven't seen anything since The Seed of Chucky. The reason why I thought Child's Play was good and is fun to watch is because it's like genuinely very scary.
Mm-hmm. So I thought we were starting with number 5, but
okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Number 5. What's your number 5 movie?
My number 5 movie is Insidious.
Ooh.
Because I'm going to start with like the 2000s horror movies because this film stuck with me. Like, you know, watching horror films, like it scared me.
Yeah.
I hadn't been scared like that in a while, like probably since like The Ring.
Okay.
Or maybe Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. But like
the remake?
But this movie like was kind of like a game changer because like James Wan went from like doing Saw movies. When he did Insidious, it kind of brought like the old school haunted house movie thing back.
Totally.
And yeah, really good jump scares. I think jump scares like became a thing because of this movie. So
and Insidious, doesn't that one like I don't know if it's part 1 or part 2, but like you can see like some ghosts and shit like in shots that don't get acknowledged. They're just kind of like in the background.
Yes.
Yeah.
So there's a part where like Rose Byrne's character, she's like walking around the house. And,
love
like,
her.
There's like a little kid.
In
like the laundry area, and he's just standing there.
Yeah.
And then she like goes outside to take the trash out, and then she like looks out the window, and this music is playing, and it's like playing that song. It was great.
That movie's when me and my partner watched that movie, I think during this pandemic. So the shot with Patrick Wilson and then the creature's like right here.
The demon, yeah.
The demon is right here, like the red face, like that was like a wah, you know. For
me too.
And it reminded me of the demon you see in
Star Wars.
Darth Maul. Yeah. No, it reminded me of the demon in
The Exorcist?
No, in Annabelle.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that was where the inspiration came from. Yeah, I mean it kind of had that like poltergeist feel too, because but like a modern version,
right?
Because like instead of them trying to like pull the child out of the TV, like they go into this like ghost spirit world, like the further to find the kid.
And haunted house movies, like you can't go wrong. So my next movie it's a little gem. I discovered it when I was obviously young, like probably 10. I can't remember if I rented it or if I came across it on TV, but it is called People Under the Stairs.
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
I fucking love that movie.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
And I forgot about that, and I would totally put that on my list because it is like pre-Get Out.
Yeah. But it's the same kind of... So yeah, it's about this boy from like the projects, you could say, right?
Well, there's two boys, I think, right?
Well, there's an older guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's two of them, but are they gonna...
I forgot.
Is the older guy gonna like... I think
they were trying to get something from that house.
Yeah, they were gonna... And
then they end up in that basement and they find those people.
But yeah, so it ends up the boy basically gets like lost in this house, and it's this like wealthy, affluent, like white family. It's all you know. And they had like some scary like guard dogs and whatever. And then I just like love that movie because the way the boy escapes, basically the way he like conquers the villain was so clever to me. It's just like, wow, like that's so smart. So basically it's like this like fucked up husband and wife. And they've had a lot of children, right? Or they kidnapped these children, and then they're like, these people are like disposed of, but they're like living in the walls.
Yeah. It's like their children.
Yeah, it's right. It's like they're like disposed children who like wouldn't listen.
They like disciplined them.
Yes, because the main guy, his tongue is gone.
Yeah.
So he can't really like talk.
His name is Roach.
Oh, Roach. Okay, yeah. So Spike. And the little boy gets into the girls' room, their like current child, and she's very nice to him, and she's just like kind of in the same situation he is. And they kind of like team up, and and then Roach just like grabs him. So you're like, who the fuck just grabbed this kid? And he just like grabs him, puts his like covers his mouth, and he brings him into the wall because it's like, shh, like I'm helping you, you know.
Right.
And then the way the movie ended, like the little boy sticks the coins in candles, and so it sounds like he's flipping these coins, and so the bad guy stays there, and then the kid just blows that fucking house up.
Oh yeah.
And then the money goes flying.
Yeah. And the money goes back to the community.
Ving
Rhames is in this.
Yep.
I totally forgot about it. So like the couple that you're talking about in the movie, they don't actually have names. They're
interesting.
They're just called man and woman. And funny story, for the longest time, I thought the woman was Julia Roberts. And I was a kid when I saw a
red-headed woman, and I was like, "Damn, Julia Roberts."
I don't think she's even red-headed, but she does have that
my
face
memory
structure.
Is red hair.
I really thought it was Julia Roberts.
That's so funny.
From the Pretty Woman days.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was a kid. I didn't fucking know.
It's kind of got like the Get Out vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
And I've heard over the years, like, because it's one of those movies I like showed my friends, you know, and like everyone likes it because it's like it's wild. But I like one of my friends like texts me like every 5 years. She's like, I heard they're remaking People Under the Stairs.
Dude, but you know what? I want them to remake it only if Jordan Peele.
I know, right?
Because
only if Jordan Peele.
I think there were talks about Jordan Peele wanting to remake.
Ooh.
people under the stairs.
Dude, that'd be so dope.
Yeah. But you know who directed the original?
No.
You know?
No. Never looked it up.
Dude, Wes Craven.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
For real. R.I.P. Wes.
What's your next movie?
Okay.
Number 4.
Okay, don't laugh at me.
Okay.
I love this movie.
Oh my god. Please tell me it's J-Lo. Enough.
Shut up. No. No.
Okay.
It's Final Destination.
Okay, no, I love that movie.
Okay. A lot of people don't consider it horror, but I do.
Okay.
Because, like,
is there anything
first
scarier?
of all, these movies like make me self-aware of like my surroundings.
Mm-hmm.
Because like you never know when some freak accident will happen to you. Whatever.
No one will ever drive behind logs and not think about that
Yeah.
fucking scene from part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I love the first one only because it's like the original and Devon Sawa.
Oof.
He was like
He
a
was
90s heartthrob and
Yes.
like being a final girl.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Right.
Like it was different.
and it was scary. It was like they were supposed to be on a plane.
Yeah.
And that shit fucking blew up and they watched it and it was such an original at the time, like a very original.
And also I gotta give shout out to Jeffrey Reddick, who's also a queer filmmaker.
Yay. Director, writer, what?
Screenwriter.
Okay.
He was pretty much the reason why Final Destination existed. Yeah, so that movie like stuck with me because like it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
And like it makes you think like
Oh yeah.
you know, of being aware of like just your surroundings and like shit can happen anytime.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like that movie doesn't have like a slasher. It's like
It's like an entity.
The fact that you're not immortal.
It's-
Like, you know, it's like fuck. I don't know if like I meant to die and I can't escape death. And yeah, like this freak accident is like supposed to happen or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, and also Tony Todd, who plays Candyman, he's like the mortician. I think he like really adds to that movie because like I always found him like really scary because of Candyman.
Yeah, I mean he's a tall dude. Like I actually worked with him.
You did?
Yeah, you know, I've told you this.
On what?
I don't know. It was like I think it was like a trailer.
Zombie movie?
Yeah,
thing?
I was a zombie and he like gave me acting advice.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really cool and he was so nice.
Why did he
so
give you
nice.
acting advice?
Because he was supposed to hit me across the face with a bat. I was like moving too fast. He told me like when the cue would be for it to look more real.
That's a cool story.
Yeah, no, it was really cool because I was like, this fucking Candyman.
Candyman's telling you how to fucking act.
Candyman, me and Candyman were in a scene alone.
Oh my god.
Or a shot alone or whatever.
So yeah, that was my number 4.
Great. My number 3. You already mentioned it on this podcast. And it's, you know, because I love a good old haunted house. It is Poltergeist. So Poltergeist is like, it's like that movie you watch with your siblings late at night. It's just summer movie, you know?
Yeah.
I love it. I still love it. You know, and it freaked me the fuck out. Like, it made me scared of trees.
Yeah.
Like, okay, thanks. Like, whenever there's like a tree outside my door, I'm like,
Yeah.
or window. I'm like, I don't know if that tree's gonna fucking reach in here and try to eat me.
You know what's really cool about that movie though is that like it had a lot of Steven Spielberg. Like
I literally until my late 20s
didn't
thought he directed it.
Yeah, it's not. It's actually Tobe Hooper who did Texas Chainsaw.
What?
But Steven Spielberg produced
it. Yeah.
But he had a lot of influence to it.
You can definitely tell.
Yeah.
Because it has that kind of like E.T. vibes, like the family and whatever.
Even
but
the music.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
One of the things that was so kind of like would give me kind of like ticklish chills or whatever is the chair kitchen scene. I like love that scene. The mom, well, she keeps like coming and going out of the room and the cabinets are like all open. It's like, what the fuck? And like she can't blame her kid at this point because it's like, what? And then you jump, you know, and the dad's getting home and the mom's like, look, I gotta show you something. And she's got all like the kitchen chairs like stacked and all weird. And she's like, look. And she puts his chair down and it just goes shoo, across the room.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And she's like, now watch. And she like puts her daughter there and shoo, across the room.
Oh my god, yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. I like that kind of like that weird. I don't know how to describe it.
It
like
is
how it's connecting with like another dimension.
Yeah.
Like a little ripple. And so for me, that was showing you like the energetic field, like something in interruption. Mm-hmm. Do you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's how I got it. I don't actually know though. Maybe if like we look it up, the writer's like, no.
If you guys like know, like leave it in the comments.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think.
Hit us up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Let us know.
That's funny because that movie is also on my list.
Really?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, number 3?
Actually it was number 2.
Ooh.
But I will talk about it now because I also found that movie inspiring.
Oh yeah.
It's a pretty tamed horror movie. It's not gory or anything, but you know, it's scary because
it's scary. Don't you remember like the like monster crawling? That like nasty like monster thing crawling? Kind of like wormy.
I remember like there was like a meat. There was like a meat that was like hovering on the kitchen counter. Do you remember that part?
I do remember that part.
Okay, and then there's also like there is a worm. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. There's like a tentacle that's coming out of the hole that's like the portal. Oh yeah, and there's like a skeleton monster thing. It's like in the hallway.
Oh.
There's like this.
Oh no! The fucking clown.
Yes, the
clown
is iconic. I was gonna say that the clown is iconic, and that part is actually really scary too.
Oh my gosh, so scary.
Because the clown, the face changes like when it's like possessed or whatever by the spirit. There's just like so many
poor
cool
kid.
scenes.
That poor kid, like a tree tries to eat him. Fucking clown. Ugh. But also, like, I would never have that toy. That clown.
Why would you have that? That kid didn't
Thanks,
even
Mom.
want it. Where'd it come from?
I don't know. Hell.
Yeah, right. Throw it in the trash, please.
Yeah. What did you think about like the sequels?
I'm trying to remember the sequels. So part 2 is the one where there's like a cult leader guy.
And he's so scary.
Yeah, I think he's scary because he's wanting the daughter.
Yeah.
For some reason, Caroline,
R.I.P.
And for real, R.I.P. The third, well, I'm gonna say that too because in the third movie she did pass.
Yeah.
During the making.
Right.
And that was the one where they're in the skyscraper.
Yes.
Apartment.
And I have like no memory of that one.
It's really sad because like I watched this documentary that like basically told about like how they had to finish that movie without her.
Oof.
They didn't show. They had like a double.
Oh man.
Didn't show the actor's face, and it kind of ends like weird. But anyways, yeah.
Yeah, I don't. My memories of the second one were definitely like he kept showing up, and he's dressed like kind of like not a pilgrim, but like he's
Mormon.
kidding. Well, I mean, he's got like that kind of old school look, like maybe like early 1900s, right? Like a black kind of suit, but not like a modern black suit, like this,
like
and then like a
Puritan.
hat. And he has like straight gray hair and like nasty teeth. And he's like, "Hi, Caroline."
Yeah.
Ugh.
He's very skeleton-like.
Yeah, super skinny, skinny legend. Okay, number 2. Okay, I don't know if you've seen this. I fucking love this movie. As Above, So Below.
Okay. Yes, I have.
Okay.
I will tell you, could not finish it, but like.
Oh my god. Okay, so I really love this movie because I like anything like hermetic, like alchemy, like history, whatever. And I love Ben Foster. He's in it. He's in Community. Or no, I'm so dumb. Superstore, which is basically like Community. But yeah, he's in Superstore. So it's about these like archaeologists, historian, whatever, students or grads or something. And like, the movie opens and remember her like dad, or you find out her dad died, and she's like in Iran in like a tunnel trying to get some artifact. So she's kind of like a thrill seeker. And then she like, there's some sort of piece of art. It's kind of like the lore or whatever is that it's kind of like the key to life or eternal or some kind of shit like that, right? And so she recruits her, I think, ex-boyfriend who's like fixing old clocks.
It's actually Ben Feldman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I definitely meant Ben Feldman.
Well, I was thinking of Ben Feldman too.
Okay, so yeah, and I just really liked. It's all like found footage style, which I know not everyone likes, but I like it. I thought it was done well.
Like, yeah, it's one of the better found footage films Yeah.
And I don't know, like I've never really thought about the catacombs. I didn't really know much about them. And like, yeah, they just go like spelunking or whatever, like down there. But it very quickly is like, not only are you like in the catacombs with like fucking bones surrounding you, but there's like this weird lady and like people sitting around her going, oh, like, so that's creepy. And she kind of just like, and she's the same lady that they saw at the club. Yeah. And then how each and every one of them is reminded of like their greatest guilt.
Yeah.
And like they get sucked into it. Like, you know, that's like they go to hell. Like the one guy, yeah, like the car on fire, he left his friend to burn in the car.
Oh, shit.
And that's like what haunts him. So he gets sucked into there. And then this is so fucking scary. This is what I think is so scary. They go into like, because it's dark. That's the other thing. It's really dark because they're underground. Mm-hmm. But they go into a room and there's like kind of like a very old school chair, kind of like a king chair where like the back is very tall. And there's someone sitting there and they have like a pointy hat and like old school, like Catholic Roman kind of shit like that is like, that's all creepy looking. It's all weird, like and creepy looking. And that thing is just like sitting there and you're like, ooh, you know, like that's fucking scary. Like I think they see it and they like turn the corner. They're like, nope. Yeah. And then they discover the art and it's as above, so below.
As above, so below, as within, so without, as the universe, so the soul.
Yeah. And it's essentially saying like, what you are here is what you are there. Mm-hmm. And like
in hell,
just in existence. Yeah. And that's the message of this thing. It's like the piece of art or whatever, and she puts the thing there and she sees her reflection when they get out. That part I like love so much. So you didn't finish it? No. So when they get out,
I didn't even get that far. I think I was getting like anxiety watching it, so I turned it off.
It's a very if you're claustrophobic, you know, you're not gonna enjoy that. But they get to a manhole, mm-hmm. and they you know, like they have to push up, mm-hmm. right, because they're underneath it. And then when they come out, gravity's like the opposite ways. But there's a scene where you have to crawl through a pile of bones in the catacombs and whatever. Mm-hmm. And if you're not familiar with catacombs, it's like where they just fucking threw bodies because they had to do like these mass graves and because of like plagues and whatever else. Yeah. And it's like fucked up. And they're still there. So they have to crawl to get through this like really small space. So they're crawling over bones and shit. But she stops and she looks at the Ben Feldman character and she goes, and so you will be made to crawl on your belly like beasts. And it's like how you enter hell. And he's like, yeah, that occurred to me. Like he's thinking that too. Like they have to crawl to get into this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, there's just like a lot of, I don't know, it's cool. I think it's really cool.
Okay, maybe I need to rewatch it or try to because it's on Netflix, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was on HBO at some point.
Fun fact, those filmmakers are from Minnesota.
Shut up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Have they gone on to do?
They did Devil.
Oh, the fucking elevator movie.
Yeah, M. Night Shyamalan.
Good for them. I never saw Devil, but I will. Okay, so what's your number 2?
My number 2 would be Candyman. And I'm not going to say anymore because I literally said it 5 times already.
Yeah, dude. He's going to come pop out behind that curtain. I actually can see like a bump in the curtain.
Shut up. It is not funny. So my parents, for some reason, like wanted to watch this movie and allowed me to watch it with them. I did not know anything about this movie because when they said it was about Candyman, I thought it was a kid's movie. I thought it was a kid's movie.
Did they know that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But we watched it as a family.
It's a funny movie to watch with your family.
I mean,
just think about all the shit that's in that movie.
Young too.
Mm-hmm.
For one, it made me scared of bees for a long time.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Made me scared of like graffiti.
Yeah.
For some reason.
If there's graffiti, there's gonna be
I know.
A man covered in bees.
I was like graffiti and bees and like dirty bathrooms. Ew. Like
and
public.
Did he have a hook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man with hook. Yeah. Scared the shit out of me. And mirrors. Mm-hmm. I could not look at myself in the mirror anymore.
He was like the real Bloody Mary.
For real.
You know?
For the longest time, like I had my parents to like cover the mirrors with like towels or like just turn it around, you know, just kind of scary at night. And Tony Todd, like his voice like really haunted me, and it stuck with me for a long time. I would have nightmares.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch the movie the first time. I literally was under the covers.
Yeah.
But I could hear everything.
Right. Yeah. But and your imagination filled.
And they're just watching it like they know what is going on. Like they don't understand English that well, so like they're watching this movie. They're just watching this movie just for the kills. Right. The kills and thrills.
They're like, this that chick from X-Files.
It is not.
I know, but it fucking look. I bet they thought it was, because I thought that forever. Because she fucking looks like her.
That's so funny that you thought that.
I know. I didn't. Was it you who was like, no, it's not? I was like,
yeah, you're like Gillian Anderson.
I was like, yeah, and she's like in that, and you're like, what?
Yeah. So that's my number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. It's such like a classic, and my brother and I just remember watching it with him and him really liking it or whatever. But what's like when I was little, I don't know if I wasn't paying attention or I was coming in and out of the room or like, but I just remember the memory of him being covered in honey and bees. And I knew he was like a killer and you say his name or whatever. But what stuck with me when I was little was I remember thinking I felt really sorry for him.
Yeah.
But I couldn't remember. I didn't know why I did, but I felt this like deep sadness. And then so rewatching it as an adult, I'm like, oh, I probably didn't like, because you're explained in the movie how he was basically murdered for horrible
what
reasons.
He did.
Right. He's like a painter. He's an artist that cut off his arm.
Yeah.
He's a black man, everything, like all that stuff. Like it's really tragic.
Yeah, and I remember when I watched it as an adult too, and I was like, wow, I don't remember any of this.
Yeah, probably because we were too young to comprehend that kind of shit.
But like, yeah, it totally makes sense now, like why he would go after these people. But there's some parts in the movie that's like really funny though. Like there's like this part where like he crashes through the window and he's like,
oh my
floating.
God, yes, that's so good.
Or he's like. He flies out the window.
Yeah, he like backs up.
And then there's another part where he's like hovering over her.
Yeah.
And then he like goes under the bed.
Yeah,
it's just so funny.
Yeah. It's just a great movie. And I loved the new one.
I did rewatch it. And I grew to like it more.
Yeah. Right.
I wish the climax was a little more.
Yeah, it does kind of end quick.
Yeah. It's kind of like Don't Worry Darling, where you give me like 10 minutes of a car chase and like nothing happens.
Right.
For like 2 hours. Yeah. But yeah, I mean I really like that director, so.
Yeah. Cool. Are we on to number 1?
Yeah, number 1.
Number 1, so I've already talked about this on the podcast, but my number 1 is going to be the made for TV movie It. That's my number 1.
Yes.
That's my like ride or die horror movie.
Yeah.
It is what first scared me as far as movies go.
And
Clowns, spiders.
Yeah.
Drains.
Oh.
I was like scared of drains.
Not the drains.
Yeah, Pennywise. Yeah, just everything about it. And I think it holds up. Like I really like, I know some people think it's kind of like corny and like, or like whatever, but I just have like a special place in my heart for the made for TV movie It. Yeah, it was kind of like, I don't know, like opening on Georgie, like with his paper boat, like, and a dude talking to you in a sewer. And I had a relationship with sewers after that. Like I would not fuck with a sewer, especially when it rained. And in Minnesota, you get like every kind of weather, and like in spring we get a lot of rain, and like summer, and like when snow's melting. And so you watch like these little rivers like going into these I mean, just like that movie, like that type of sewer. And and I will tell you, this is something I've like wrestled with for a long time. When I was little and we were in the neighborhood, my ball like went into the sewer, and I went down into it to get my ball.
How did you fit in there?
I was a little kid.
Oh my God.
But let me finish the story.
Okay.
It might answer some questions. I go down there, and I think maybe like my brother lifted the what do you call it? Whatever. I can't think of the word. But anyway, I go down there, I grab my ball, and like I look down the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
But so to this day, I don't know if that's a real memory or if it's something I had created. But for a long time, I had this memory of like, remember when I like had gone down in the sewer and looked down it and stuff, and like, but then as I got older, I was like, wait, did that happen? I think it happened, but maybe it didn't. I don't know. I mean, it's something I would have done, but I needed to get my ball or whatever the fuck.
I've never been in the sewer like that, so
yeah, and that also, I mean, straight up like that. You watch a movie, you're gonna be scared of sewers, clowns, spiders, men,
men, white men,
drains.
I just remember like there was that bathroom scene with the blood and everything.
Yeah, and I'm reading it still, but a lot of that is in the book, and yeah, and it's a movie from the perspective of kids, so you know. Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah, I like the first half of it. Not so much the second half of it because
even the made-for-TV movie.
Yeah,
because adults are just less fun.
Something about the adults kind of bore me.
Totally.
Like even in the remake, the Hollywood version.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Although it's well casted, I love James McAvoy and like Jessica Chastain, and like it was such a different movie.
Yeah,
like,
it really was.
Fun movie, funny,
but there was a lot of drawn outs, and that's I'm in that part of the book right now where they're slowly getting their memories back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was kind of like the weak part of the movie for me. But when they had like their final battle, I thought some of the stuff they did, it was cool. Like he has these deadlights, right? When I don't know if it's Richie or his friend, and they're like in love, right? But they like didn't get to, they never like shared that they were in love with each other. Richie and Eddie. He basically sacrifices himself to save Richie or vice versa. I can't remember. But then and at this point, it is like, it's like he's a spider, but then he has like the clown like up, like his normal whatever. And he like runs over and just his mouth goes huge. Kind of like when that scene in Beetlejuice when the dad like, it reminds me of that. And then the deadlights. It's like hypnotizing. Yeah, that part was like fucking cool. And in the first one, when they're like being brave and telling it like whatever, and it kind of shrivels up into this like baby balloon.
Yeah,
that looks so cool. I don't know how they did that, but I was like, that looks so fucking funny, cool. Though. Yeah,
I'm like, what am I looking at?
Yeah,
like, how the
really
fuck
cool.
did he just turn into this balloon?
Right. I'm thinking about getting a tattoo for it.
You've been wanting a lot of tattoos.
I know.
Like, okay,
movie.
Yeah. Well, no, you're like texting me like, should we get tattoos? I'm like, girl, I am not a tattoo person.
I know.
But yeah, you wanted to get that tattoo, the black phone.
Yeah, I do, and I fucking might, dude. Okay, I want to get a black phone tattoo. I want to get a nope tattoo. And I want to get an it tattoo.
You should get a sleeve of all
those
movies.
No, that's kind of what that's what I've been envisioning.
That'd be cool.
Anyway, that's my number one. What's your number
Love
one?
It. My number one is Scream.
Oh, surprise. Surprise.
Surprise. Obviously, like this movie had a lot of influence on me as a queer person and also a filmmaker. I mean, this was the movie that kind of like was my gateway to the horror genre.
To murder.
I mean, no, it wasn't. Because it was like a group of horror nerds who loved movies and like basically they were like self-aware teenagers that there was all these like rules and like it really changed the genre. And like Wes Craven like did so well like telling this story. And also Kevin Williamson, who screenwriter, queer,
queer of course,
wrote this movie, and like it's just brilliant. I feel like people like hate on it so much because it came out in the 90s, and
people
like,
hate on it.
They do.
I can understand like hating on the franchise because nothing's as good as the first and the original.
Right.
But yeah, I didn't know people hated on it. I thought it was kind of regarded as like a cult classic.
Yeah, I think they hate on it because it like created this like this genre of like,
I know what you did last summer.
I know what you did last summer, and like urban legend. No, Scream was like my gateway to horror, and like I loved everything about it. And there's just so many iconic lines, iconic scenes, hotties. Skeet Ulrich.
Nev Campbell.
Nev Campbell, Queen, Scream Queen.
Is it that movie or is it? I Know What You Did Last Summer. When one of them like, oh, it's one. It's I Know You Did Last Summer. She like goes aside in like a little tank top, and she's like, "What do you want from us?
What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?"
Dude, and Anne Heche, R.I.P. She was like the first, like, I'm gonna show up at your car and everyone's gonna jump.
Dude. So back to Scream, like there's just like so many scenes that like stuck out, and like the score too. I love Marco Beltrami. Like he changed the sound of horror in like music, and because like Danny Elfman was like the big thing, and like, and then like so many other composers like try to like mimic the sound of Scream, so it became a thing. It was like trending,
right?
And then Scream was trending, like all those 19 horror movies that were like self-aware,
right?
And I love like Courtney Cox. She's such a bitch, and I love it. Yeah. When there's like the part where like her cameraman,
she's so mean to him.
Yeah, and then he's like on the windshield. She's like, "I'm so fucking sorry, but get off my fucking windshield."
Yeah, her like iconic character like through all the movies too. She's got like the super short bangs.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, but do we want to do an honorable mention? I'll tell you mine.
Okay.
I swapped Jaws and Poltergeist. I wanted to put Jaws, and then I was like, you know what? This is I kind of like put it in a different category because I don't think you necessarily need to watch that around Halloween and stuff. You know what I mean? Like I think Poltergeist is more appropriate to watch in the Halloween season and everything, where you got to watch Jaws like 4th of July or something.
Yeah.
It's a summer movie.
So my honorable mention is The Thing.
Ooh.
I remember watching this movie as a kid and seeing it for the first time on TV. And I just remember it being like super scary and jumpy. This movie kind of like sparked my love for like aliens. And there was one scene in particular that like really stuck with me. And it was that scene where they're all kind of in this room and they have to take like this blood test.
Yeah.
Basically to prove who's alien and who's not. The blood sample kind of like turns into an alien itself, and then it like freaks out, and like one of the guys like starts turning into the thing. I remember thinking like, what the fuck is happening right now? Yeah, I just like really love this movie, and I love like the practical effects in it, and like everything about it is just really amazing. John Carpenter directed this, and I think people should see it. Okay. That concludes our episode.
I hope you have the best Halloween ever, and you're safe. Totally. But I hope you scare the shit out of people.
Okay.
Okay.
I mean, just be safe and, watch out for crazy people.
Don't go off by yourself.
Yeah, totally.
And by crazy people, you mean like psychopathic murderers who are going to eat you.
Exactly. Yeah. Watch out for dumbers.
Watch out for drunk drivers. Fuck drunk drivers. Don't go out and drink. Call a Lyft. Call one of us.
Don't call one of us.
I know, we'll be sleeping.
I will be in bed, but I will call you a lift for you if you need one.
Great. Well, thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Let us know if you want us to do more listicles too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because this is fun. Yeah. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.